Hey guys, welcome to the Heart of David. Hope you guys are all doing well today. Wherever you are in the world, I hope you're from all corners of the globe, all 10 of you. That doesn't make it any less, does it, right? If I can get through to 10 or 20 people, or even 50 or 100, all the better, I guess. But what matters is the people who are really listening. And that's extra important for me because I just read part of Isaiah. Which chapter was it? Chapter 2 or 4? It's in the first 10 chapters anyways. I'm a man of unclean lips. Is that chapter 5? No, that's Mighty Counselor. He goes and he says, I'm a man, I am undone. Woe for me, I am done. I'm a man of unclean lips, and then the angel comes down and puts a coal on him, right? Here am I will go. Ears that will hear, and they won't hear, right? And they won't perceive. Even though they hear it, they won't understand. So what matters isn't the quantity, it's the quality. So I have the main... I'm only going to put really one title on this, but what horses are we on, if any, of the book of Revelation 6? I certainly think some I've written. I'm going to talk about that. But so my topics are how long, the horses, AI, and I finished off that poem I did, and so I just want to read that at the end. And you know what? I actually want to finish this off, so I'm going to talk about AI twice, or maybe just here. The email. I'm just replying to an email about what are my thoughts about AI, and that's why I made that video yesterday. But if I was to say anything else to that video, what would I say? Like I said, you know this. As they would call it, and that it is called this, the nuclear family, father, mother, children. They've made it very expensive to live in the West for reasons that never had to happen. We could have had all the good in the world, if we didn't take Christianity out of our country, which is one of the reasons that we're cursed right now. But we didn't need economic migrants and all these different things. If we just kept our own jobs and didn't outsource them, we would have been making more money, and people who make more money tend to have more kids. That is the whole basis of this problem. They keep telling you that that they need people to come from other countries, but they haven't diagnosed the root issue. They know though. They haven't diagnosed the root issue to us. They leave it up to us to find these things out. So our families, the people. I'm almost 50 years. I'll be 50 years old in 4 years. So in 2020, I'll be 50. Even in my way back, I can think of all the different friends that I hung around with, and I would say that maybe 30% don't have children, including myself. And it's only getting worse, obviously. And one of those things is the destruction through all these devices of people not having children. And another reason, not just besides technology, but technology is what causes it though. Because without technology, people are more hands-on. You need people to do jobs all the time. Anyways, I know I'm going off kind of off here, but So what are we left with when you don't have a nuclear family? You have men and women who are feeling really alone, and they've turned women into, I don't know, man. Everywhere I go, you may have like summer temperatures all year round. I don't here. We're the most we're the most temperate place, one of in the world where I live. So it can be minus 40, it can be plus 40 Celsius. And but when it's summer, you go everywhere. There's women wearing skimpy things all over the place. Men don't want to deal with people who only look at themselves as an object. And I'm guilty in my own youth for chasing women like that. I don't know if this just skipped. I did. I like people with good hearts and stuff like that, but I was more lustful and looking for eye candy. That's just the way it was. But this is about AI. Guys, let me pause for a second. So with the destruction, it's not a thorough destruction, but it's a pretty good destruction, wouldn't you say, thus far? That computers and technology have had on people, but it's a propaganda that is destroying people, because it's putting ideas in people's heads. All these different ideas that, the independent woman and a woman doesn't need a man and stuff. And what's happened is that it's starting to turn its head where women are wondering, where are the good men and this type of stuff. And men are going to other countries to find women who are, you would call, submissive, but not submissive in that manner, just like good temper, the way women used to be here. Not women who want to talk back and yell and be loud and that kind of thing. Not to say a woman can't be opinionated at all. That's not what I mean. It's just the way that society, through music and it's just not the way women should be. And I do feel sorry for the men of today. And I'm not saying it's every woman, and especially not born-again women. But this is what all the propaganda has done. And part of it is artificial intelligence, because they have a lot of bots running all throughout the place. And you have to wonder the people behind them who are sending them. And it's Satan's plan to destroy the family, and it's working in the West anyways. When it comes to those AI, girlfriend, boyfriend, just talking to AI, that type of thing, man, like I said, I can understand the pull. I can understand that. And I can understand the pull. I listened to so there was a guy, and he was having a lot of trouble with my stomach. It's not my stomach, it's my abdomen. It's just, man, it's all the busyness I've had in my life lately. It's creating a lot of pain in my abdomen. The more things I do, the worse it gets. But I understand the pull towards it, and I couldn't blame a person for wanting to use that, but to become attached to it would be too easy. And like, I'm being honest when I say this, where I am with my schooling and God above all, I am content. I'm content. I don't feel, there are times where I do feel lonely, and I do miss intimacy. I wish I could talk to a woman, like, not one that would just be trying to seduce me, but to have some, I prefer, like, openness and all that type of talking about life. But So I can understand the pull towards that, because it doesn't owe you anything. You don't owe it anything. And I even thought to myself, even though I said in the last video I would never, I wasn't actually sure, because I wanted to know what it was like, just like I did the other day. I'm not going to do that again. Asking if spirits are in AI. I'm not going to do that again. Do I think it's wrong? Well, I just have to look at the way that God would look at it. What would God say? It's not a real person. I guess you'd call it an idol, right? Maybe it'd be an idol. So I don't feel the need personally to use it, but I'm more curious. I'm not telling people to do it. I'm actually telling people probably not do it. But I don't think that's going to be what gets you saved or not. So yeah, as far as AI goes, this is what I wanted to say. And I kind of want to mix it up with this. I can understand that people are just waiting for the Lord, right? You're just waiting for the Lord. We all are. And he says, behold, I am coming quickly. And what does Enoch say? He's going to come with 10,000s of his saints, right? So I can understand when people are like, I can't wait any longer. When is this rapture going to be, and this type of all this? But I think it's better to take a view of, look at what's happening around us. It's really interesting. You cannot say for a second that it is boring. Now, I don't know where you are in your life. I suffer with really severe pain. Actually, last night and today, so I've probably had about 30 attacks of trigeminal neuralgia up my right side of my head. It has to do with the previous injury, I believe. Quite painful. So I can understand people who might be in pain, emotional pain and trauma, who just want to see an end to their suffering. I understand that. But I say this, and I understand the rise that this might give a person, even if it's 10 years. Take the view that it might be, because you're just going to keep upsetting yourself. That's why you live your life and worship the Lord at the same time. Start doing things that are interesting. Go out into the woods. Go. I understand probably some of my followers have pain because I do. And maybe that's part of the reason why they makes them feel easier when they see my suffering. So, AI. I'm going to get at the horses in a second. We just sit tight. That's it. We sit tight and we see these things happening around us. I think it's going to be quite soon that you're going to start seeing AI. So, where I live, it's relatively safe except for wildfires. All the smoke. I have to wonder if that was actually God, even though if it showed like that on Dutch Sins. Was it God who did that? Because it appears that Canada is okay with splitting the land of Israel. I don't know. Because that smoke is pouring all the way through the U.S. too. And it did it in 2023 as well. that we just wait for these things to come out, and you're going to see them. Yeah, as I live in a relatively, you don't really see much around here. It's isolated enough, but not that far from the States at all. We're very close to the border. And I saw a drone the other day at night, and it was kind of freaky. But I knew it was a drone, and I don't believe in those other things until I see them. Not to say that those couldn't be spirits of some kind. We'll see. I'm just of the mind. Just wait for it. Just wait for it. Because that means that the Lord is giving you time to do all different things in your life. And what I'm saying here, wait for these things that these Silicon Valley and all these places are starting to incorporate in, like I said, Walmart and these big box stores that have taken over everything. I'm going to pace and I'm going to get into the horses. I'm quite uncomfortable. When I come to make this video, I don't know how uncomfortable I'm going to be until I speak, until I stay still. Because I'm constantly moving around. My splenic flexure, that's probably the issue. I can never tell what it's doing unless I take my hand and put it in my colon. It's that bad. Really, it actually changed my personality because it makes you very restless. It makes you feel like there's literally a crowbar, like a bar across your abdomen. That's what it's like. So and the only way to get it better is to walk it out. Is to literally to walk my colon through, and then I don't feel this, and then I could come back and make a video after my walk and my voice will be really strong, and it's just a reflection of it's always my abdomen, and I don't want to go on about that, but so, now I hope this doesn't cut off. If it does, please watch the next part. Let's read Revelation 6. KJV. And I saw when the Lamb opened one of the seals, and I heard as it were the noise of thunder. One of the four beasts coming, saying, "Come and see." And I saw, and behold, a white horse, and he who sat on him had a bow. So when you look in the Greek and you look through, I don't know what it is, Hebrew, Greek, it doesn't matter to me, it is. The bow can also be translated to a poison. And crown is corona. Just think about that, okay? Keep that in your mind. And a crown was given to him. So, okay, I saw, and behold, a white horse. He that sat on him had a bow, and a crown was given unto him, and he went forth conquering and to conquer. Let's stop there. Do you think that happened? Do you think anything in our world changed at all? Anything? Do you think since 2020 nothing in this world has changed? That has never happened in this history, not in that way. So much of our world shifted and changed. I can't imagine how many people died by suicide, never mind by this, which I had an allergic reaction, and my own heart, I'm not afraid to say it, and a permanent gallbladder disorder, which is another reason I have trouble up here. that it was like the end for small mom and pop shops. All it was like they'd say, like the kings of the earth stick their heads up. I'm not saying that's what that is, but it kind of is. Thousands and thousands of places went out of business. They put up shields everywhere. Stay this, do that. Take this. So you think it's coincidence that crown is corona? I think that was it. I think that was the beginning. That was the beginning. You can say what you want. You can give all kinds of mysteries, but that's not going to convince me that that wasn't. Because after, everything came after. Ukraine, everything. It began then. Our world, the whole world. Nothing is, like, someone's going to say, what about the bubonic plague? And what about the 1918 pandemic? This was different from all the rest. Because of control. All of a sudden, all power went to people we never looked at as having such power in Congress and parliaments and like everywhere. And when he opened the second seal, I heard the second beast say, "Come and see." And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given him to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another. And there was given to him a great sword. Does it appear to you? So we went through all that of the first seal. It was the first seal. It was the greatest wealth transfer in history. What do I mean? Amazon, even Tesla, Costco, Walmart, they closed everything down, even churches, but they left like liquor stores open. Oh man, they made a lot of money too. And they're saying, here, you who own Amazon, you who own Walmart, you can sell, but no one else can sell. That's what they did. And they put tens of thousands of businesses out. You watched it, you saw it. And so the totality of it was like $500 billion went to them instead of going to people. That's why people are homeless and on the streets, and this was part of it. And to say it was nothing, and then all of a sudden the Ukraine war came. In 2023, it's East versus West, and you know it. And I know what someone's going to say, and I think it's very uninsightful for someone to say, oh, it's going to be so much worse, the red horse, because you have an idea in your head that, sometimes in Scripture you're expecting the big and magnificent when it's just a sign. But it still is a big sign. Hold on a sec. You're going to say, what about World War I and II and the Boer War and all these different wars? No, I think it's an order. It's an order. So the Ukraine war came, and with it came a lot of propaganda. And I believe with these first two came what Jesus warned us about. Don't be deceived. I think he meant deceived not just about religious stuff, but in general as well. Because we see it. All it is propaganda. And the people who we used to trust come out and say disinformation, disinformation. And you go look on the internet, disinformation. It's because they own it all. They're forcing your thoughts. And that's why people are sheep. So to take peace from the earth, does it look like that? Haiti, Ukraine? Oh, there's untold amount of dead there in the Ukraine. A lot of different nationalities have fought there. And it's far from done. Look at North Korea. Look at Pakistan and India. Look at the Middle East. Oh man, the Middle East. You can see like places being divided. New, like, what is this? Like Canada's joining the European Union, $900 billion defense package against Russia. And you look at China's going to attack Taiwan sometime soon, and they're going to. I mean, peace has been taken from this earth. None of this, none of Iran, none of this, Sudan. You can't look anywhere without seeing a problem now. Like a significant problem. You can't look anywhere. It's just unfathomable, the things that have come since that year of the first seal. So yes, I believe the first two horses have ridden. So the next one, and by the way, you're just going to see it. We're in the birth pains. You know this. So it's just going to get increasingly more and more. The sun is giving big radiation from its sun flares. You see that Yellowstone is having earthquake swarms. All of them are. You see the geomagnetic storms, magnetism, magma. I'm not saying that, but it is. It's forcing it to the surface, and the reason all these little earthquakes are happening, like 4.3 type, 4.3, is because, and I just passed geology, because it's forcing its way to the surface. The magma is. Just think about that. And volcanoes are going off everywhere. So these are the birth pains. So to say that we're not in them, no, this is just a, what do they try? This is just a pre-something. They give a name to it. Now we're in it. We're in it. And go to the channel Stephen Burns. I think that's it. Boy, I'm having trouble with my throat. Yeah, go to Stephen Burns, and you'll look and you'll see how things are changing. He's a geophysicist, and so there is a connection between the sun and these events. And I've said to people ever since I made this channel, the earthquakes, or sorry, not the earthquakes, but the volcanoes, people are going to say to me, well, they've been going off. We have active volcanoes like in Hawaii and other places, wherever they are, that are active, but not dangerous. But I tell you that there's a new one every second day that I see. About every second day I look on my ticker and see a new one. And what I mean is, maybe the top hasn't blown off. I'm talking about like cone volcanoes, the big, like Mount St. Helens type volcano. Those they're just called cone volcanoes. And they either have a big eruption or they put ash 20, 30,000 feet into the atmosphere. All those were not happening before. And so what happens is people become desensitized to it, to think it's normal. They bring things in slowly. I'm not saying that that's what they're doing with that, but that's how they trick people. So think of how used now people are to seeing these things and watching the news all the time. That's why it's good to get away from the news. Do your work. Get out in nature. Do those things. So there's that part. Getting out of breath here. Learning to be on camera, of late especially, I have been having a lot of problem with my abdomen. If I want to be in this this photo, this picture, I have to learn to take the most amount of pain. And that's what's happening to me. So when I get off of this, I will tend to it. I'll probably pace a bit, and yeah. You know, for me, I have to learn to take the most amount of pain, to desensitize myself, to try to be comfortable in it. I know how insane that sounds, but maybe to you, but you're not dealing with this. So how long it's going to be? People are waiting, and they're, you know, I understand. You know, when I go on my walks, especially in the dark at night, you know, I say, Lord, how long is it going to be? Like Seal 5, right? How long is it going to be? And we can still pray for that. And there may not be a set time that God has. Maybe there are variables that have to happen. And so our prayers, I do believe, in that sense, do matter. So pray for it, for it to be quicker. But like I said, what complaint can you have? Aside from the things that they may start to do to us. Silicon Valley, by the way, in Hollywood. When I was born, these things were just starting to come out, like computer chips, and starting to computer boards and stuff like this. And it's made its way. Oh man, I'm the Bible Gateway right here. I gotta show you this. I don't know if I can't. There is a woman like half naked. You see her breasts. This is our world, man. This is Bible Gateway. Now it's gone. Wow. Just wait. The birth pains, it's really cool to watch them, I think, unless it's affecting you in some way. And you know, the fires were affecting me, but it's cleared out since. So I'm going to read my poem, and then I'm going to stop this because I'm very uncomfortable. It doesn't cut off here. No. So it's the same one I said the other day, except I wrote about half as much more. I pray for the day that I don't have to deal with these abdominal issues. So let me take a sip and I'll do this. And I have to drink a lot of water throughout the day. I recommend you drink a lot of water too, by the way. It really helps your body. So we see the light. The end has come. So we see the light. The end has come. The picture is clear, but far from done. For those who mocked and spent their time behaving like children and drunk with wine, behold the beauty, just like he said. Deceptions upon us, but not with dread. We studied the scriptures and planned ahead. Like true Christian soldiers, we bow our heads. We echoed our thoughts, but none believed. Their backs were bent backward, like David's plea. But please, Lord, forgive them. They simply know not. I pray for my brothers. Please save them like Lot. Eternally burning. So this plays on to this. When I want them to save because I don't want them to burn, because moving on to the next. Eternally burning, I cannot forget. You flood us with warnings. Now it's up to them. We leave it with God. We did our best. Put on that thick armor and tread ahead. Come hell and high water, we stray not away. From the evil around us, what more than to pray? I see it's coming, that blessed hope. Ancient mysteries unfolding. Please, Lord, help me cope. The battle surrounds us. They drop at my feet like a knife cuts through butter. Please bring us relief. Old Testament chapters, just stories to them. are coming to life like it did back then. Sodom, Gomorrah, it fills up our streets like half-naked women and children at their feet. We ask ourselves, how did this occur? Like the days of Noah, the rest is a blur. It happened so slowly, like frogs in a pot. They did it with purpose, with preconceived plots. It looks like they're winning. Have we been betrayed? Like Jesus with Judas? Is it just a phase? But then the dear Spirit, he speaks in my ear. It all comes to nothing. Let go of your fear. The world around me is burning and done. Their minds are so wicked, I might need a gun. But then I'm reminded to slow down my mind, to mimic our Savior. He's got her behind. They fall in front and side and back. Disease, pestilence, plague, and the horrors of war. The voice that's within me tells me it's fine. I remember the scriptures to not lose my mind. When all the carnage appears like he said, he's right at the door, and now it's the end. So there you go. I actually really like writing poems. I guess you would call that a poem, because it's like rhyming. I don't know if you'd also call it a haiku, but I also have the capability to make it into a song and do, so it's not always rhyming like that, and so there could be a refrain, you know, but, I forget who asked me, was it Gary? At one point I'm like, you know, and you know, looking to make money, I'm like, well, I know how to write these. I don't want to do anything but Christian content, I don't think, but I can't find anyone who would want to take my verses because, you know, they probably have thousands and thousands of other people doing it. So I don't know. The only thing I could do is go into a contest and put it in. But anyways, there it is. So I hope you enjoyed that. I'll probably do another one sometime soon. Thanks for watching, guys.